Howdy do. Come in, say hi. Let me know where you're from. If you haven't popped into my channel or onto my Sunday night lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and on Sunday nights I go live and we talk a lot about the inside. We talk a little bit about the outside too. And we do a lot of holding each other up. We kind of fill each other in on what's been going on in our neck of the woods. And we support each other in these difficult times, right? These changing times, these times that kind of like to make a mess of our lives at some point, mix things up and move us in new directions. Or if you look at it in any way, like look at it as an opportunity to change, right? To move in a better direction suited for the times, because maybe the way we were living in the past couple of years, decades, right, hasn't been working for us really well. And yeah, I'm finding a lot of changes going on in my life. And I find that the more I just kind of let go and just kind of enjoy enjoy the ride, it goes a lot easier for me. And I've been settling into my new place really well. I'm settling into my job. I'm advancing a little bit in the things that I need to get done. That's going to help my life move a little bit easier, right? And even though there have been no drastic changes, sometimes changes come to us slowly, right? You know, the maybe what we contribute to the world is so big that if you did it all in big one chunk and just from one point being here to the next point being way up there, it's so much of an emotional or physical or spiritual journey that it messes us up. So sometimes we have to go a little bit slower. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Say hi when you pop in. Let me know where you're from. Oh, Kathy's here. Owen's here. Andrew's here. Awesome. How's everybody's week been going this week? I hope good. I hope good. Yeah, I had a family function today. It was my great niece's first birthday. I don't do family functions very well, and I never went to any of her kids' birthdays growing up. But it was a way for us to kind of get together. During the coronavirus, we were allowed up to 10 people in a gathering in her backyard, and we put on a big fire pit and we all sat outside. It was a little chilly to be outside, but we all dressed like it was spring. It was sunny, but it was quite not spring-like weather. And we all huddled around the big fire pit, and they put on a good dinner. She made Elmo cupcakes, an Elmo birthday cake, some hamburgers and some smokies and hot dogs. It was a really nice time for all of us to get together. Yes, all my sisters were there, and we all got along really well. Actually, Tracy drove me home today because Alice wanted to stay for a little bit longer until they had to separate the party into two different families, only because there was a limit to how many people she could have in her backyard. So she did one side of the family first, and then she was going to do the other side of the family later on in the afternoon. And because one of my sisters, who was the grandmother, wanted to kind of stay a little bit longer and greet the other family, I decided to ask my other sister if I could have a ride home. Gives me an opportunity, right, to spread a little sunshine. And you guys know me well enough to know that I tried, right? I put my good mojo out there and a little bit of my understanding. All it is an option for her, right? And it gets to be her choice on whether or not she wants to give it a shot. It doesn't cost any money. But the improvements that it could do to her life, if she had just a little bit of belief in her that it could possibly work, and if she could just apply it to her life, or at least make a mental note of it, so that when she does notice some of the things that she does and some of the things that she says and some of the things that she feels, if she could kind of look at it in the totally opposite idea and find a way that how it could positively impact your life, it could make some huge changes. It's just a matter of making it a habit in your life. And, I applied it to my life this year. Like I really put a lot of effort into my mindfulness, into my mindset, into resolving some of those limiting beliefs that I had stacked up in my life, right? So now I find it a lot easier to set these little goals and actually accomplish them and actually accomplishment. And you know how good that makes me feel? Like these are things that I'm doing for myself, right? Instead of complaining about my life and going, woe is me, I don't have this, I don't have a car, I can't get out on the road, right? Woe is me, I can't go exploring. Woe is me, I can't get to Mother Nature, right? Woe is me, I can't do social media the way I want to do it because I need resources like that. Woe is me is what was bringing me down, which was what was truly, truly bringing me down. And, and that last part of it, I've been doing so good over the past couple of years. But, things weren't still moving the way I wanted to them. And so I was giving them some actual good thought this week. And you know how you guys all hear me talking about manifesting my Jeep Rubicon 2021, about every live show talking about getting back on the road, getting back to exploring, right? Getting back to Mother Nature, right? What I love to do, just getting back out there, that I was so highly focusing on that I wasn't actually, I was actually putting a barrier in front of me, because what if the plan for me is to go into a totally different aspect, and to go into a totally different direction? What if I hadn't lost the car? And what if I was exploring these past couple of years? I wouldn't have been able to absorb all that amazing content and all that amazing information that was so helpful to me, and that I know is going to be so helpful to other people moving forward, right? So it makes me really believe that there's a bigger story to all that what's going on, and that maybe I should let go of some of these things that I obsess about, because I obsess about getting back to Mother Nature, to get back on the road, and with the road trips and the exploring and my YouTube and stuff. But maybe that's the wall. Maybe that was the wall that was set up to say, hey, Cindy, this is not the direction. That was just something you needed at a time in order to direct you into the direction that you're going in right now, where we need you to sit better so that you could be more used to everybody. Because again, I think, well, what if I was out on the road? Like I wouldn't be able to connect to people, right? And actually make a difference, or to help the way that I want to help anyway. So it makes me think, right? Okay, maybe I'm holding on to too tight to the things that I think, and to the directions that I think that I should be going into, or the way I want to be going into, and actually, just let it go and see where the universe wants me to land, right? See where the universe actually wants me to land. So I've been practicing that a little bit, and things seem to be going okay, but I'm still making these little goals, right? I'm still saying I want my vehicle. I'm still saving for my vehicle. I got my income tax return back, everybody. So I put $1,000 away towards the car, and I'm paying for my glasses this week. This week I'm getting my prescription filled, and I've needed glasses now for I've probably needed glasses for about 4 years, to be honest, if I'm going to be honest about it. And I've been putting them off just because they're just so expensive, right? I have such an expensive prescription, and right, I made priorities of other things. It didn't mean I wasn't wasting money, because Cindy, can waste money. I'm still wasting money, and I'm trying to buy a bike now, and get my phone and get the car. So I have 3 goals on the move, but I'm not holding on to them tight. And I'm being aware that if things don't work out the way I want them to work out, that I should be aware a little bit, right? So that I know not to go too far and too deep into places where I'm not supposed to be. So I'm watching videos today, and our president of our Manitoba Historical Society, right, Gordon Goldsberg, he's the author of Abandoned Manitoba. If you look in my description, you'll most likely see a link to his book or to Evan's book, maybe to both. Take a look in the descriptions below. But he actually started a YouTube channel, you guys, and it's through Manitoba Historical Society, and they actually are building an app where you can actually go directly to the abandons in our province. This is through the Manitoba Historical Society, and they made an interactive app, and yeah, I'm going to look forward to possibly, right, if the universe is good with it, maybe doing some of that exploring and doing some more of my own narrative on some of these places. And so I was watching a lot of their videos. They had the 7 Wonders of Manitoba. If you guys want to watch those videos, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It was called the 7 Wonders of Manitoba. I encourage everybody to go and watch it and learn a little bit. You never know if I'm going to start thinking about maybe putting a bus tour together, that maybe we could go as a group and do this interactive map of different historical sites. Like, wouldn't it be amazing to go to York Factory, a fur trading post up in Churchill, that was being used in the 1600s, right? During the fur tradings. And I would just love to maybe do that polar bear safari, and then we could do like bed and breakfast and do a couple of camping trips or something. And I would make up some kind of inclusive travel package that we could actually tour Manitoba, maybe rent a good coach bus or something, right? And go as a group of friends, right? And have just the most amazing time. And so I'm kind of stirring ideas like this. I do want to go to Thunder Bay this summer because I want to go digging for crystals. But I'm thinking also maybe in a couple of weeks, people, I'll be able to go back to my bottle digging site. I have to get to it really, really fast because they cleared the site. They cleared all the trees. They're getting ready to build something big there. So let's hope. Well, it's not nice to hope, but let's see if maybe they ran out of money, because we're in a situation right now that, right, is it feasible that we should be out there building high rises and buildings and stuff when there isn't a lot of money in the system right now? Right? If we go into recession, we don't want to build buildings just to have them sit there empty, right? But it's a hard call. All I know is I'm going to be on it right away. Let's see if Cindy could get another hutch this year. I barely got into that dump, right? Like a 1890s garbage dump right across from the Forks I found last summer. And I've pretty much been the only one digging at it. And now the site's been cleared and getting ready for construction. I guess they're going to put a high rise. There's some businesses there because it's right on a junction of 2 busy roads, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All I know is I'm ready to get a little bit of exploration in, and I can get Mother Nature in all different aspects. I also said that I was going to get a mountain bike this week, and a secondhand one, right? So I'm really hoping something's going to come into work this week and I'll be able to get my hands on a bike. That would be really, really wonderful. I can buy a new one, not a great bike, but something for $150 new. So that's only $100 more than what I'm willing to pay. for something secondhand. But if I can get something for $50, that's an extra $100 that could go towards my car. So I'm kind of thinking this way, right? I'm playing with my moon rocks today. I had a day with the family today, and I just sat there, and Cindy, she thinks she's all sitting there and pulling out poison from people, and I'm giving little positive talks and stuff. I'm pushing it as far as I think I can push it without somebody saying to me. And my sister was very what's the word? She was very mindful of me, right? And so that we kept it very pleasant today. So that was really, really nice. It's a good start. I don't mind being around my sisters, right? Very headstrong, very, very headstrong ladies, but they have to respect my boundaries. And as long as they respect my boundaries, I'm really good with them being with whoever they are, right? Just don't cross those boundaries that I set forth. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, just to say it was a pretty good outing. It was really nice to get together with my family. It was a really pleasant little event. It was only a few hours, but I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed spending time with my family, right? Right? You never deny your own, because in the end, that's all you've got. And you have to think this way, right? That it's blood, no matter what. It's blood, and I know my sister would do anything for me if I asked her. But I need to do this on my own. And I bring out the worst in some people. Yes, I do. Believe it or not, right? I do. And I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about. They say that 10% of the world, 10% of the people that come into your vicinity, your world, right, absolutely despises you. Everything about you irks them to death, right? 10%, that's a pretty big chunk of people, right? But about 8% of people are mindful, right? They'll bite their tongues, right? You can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. It doesn't change how they feel about you. They're just being a little bit more mindful to make sure they're not making a scene. They're not cutting you down in public. They're just kind of, right, keeping their thoughts to themselves. But 2% of the time, right, you're going to get somebody who's going to voice exactly how you make them feel. Believe me, and they do. And they do this often, right? So you never have to feel bad. Like with me, myself, this happens to me all the time, especially being in retail, and you go through so many people. If it's only 2%, that means 2 people out of every 100 people are going to have a problem with you enough to say something or give you a look or a huff or something, right? So we need to have coping mechanisms in order to handle these moments where we're going to feel really, really bad about ourselves, right? Because remember, when somebody gives us a compliment, we go, oh, thank you so much, right? Thank you so much. And we forget about it. But the moment somebody says something terrible to you, or says you're rude, or says you're wrong, or right, or throws the onions on top of your loaf of bread in the grocery bag, we end up having reactions. And it's totally normal. But if you expect it, right? If you expect that 2% is going to be there no matter what, when it happens, we should be able to understand that we shouldn't concentrate on that negative, that toxic that comes at us. We shouldn't concentrate on that. Remember, it's going to happen. Just be aware to expect it, to expect that 2 out of every 100 people are going to have a problem with you. enough that they're going to say something. But you know what? They're not truly the ones to worry about, right? It's that other 8%, right? Right? That don't say anything to you, right? They're steaming underneath, they're resentful, they're jealous, right? But they don't say anything to you, right? They'll just maybe smile, or maybe they won't say nothing at all. Maybe they're not even listening to you because they think you don't mean anything at all. You're not even worth worth that 2 seconds to let even your voice penetrate their eardrums, right? That's how much they despise you. Those, I think, are the dangerous ones, because those are the ones that will allow us, make us feel that we could be around them. We could be ourselves, right? That they're not going to react when we are ourselves, right? Because they're just stewing underneath. They're just letting this all, right, bubble up underneath. And it could get to that point where they do, and most likely it will happen, especially if they're in your vicinity consistently. If it's just a one-off, like, it's just you walking out of the door at the store and you actually bump into somebody accidentally and you knock his toe and, he's right away, you stupid idiot, right? That one you can just let go because you're never going to bump into this person again. But say it's your brother, or say it's your mother, and they're constantly at you all the time, right? You have to decide, like, how much of it can you take? And then also, if this is a friend and they're not saying anything to you, but they have this jealousy and this enviness and this resentment inside of them every time they're near you, because your souls are rubbing each other the wrong way, right? Nothing because of what that person did, nothing because of what this person did, maybe not in this life, right? But your soul's sent that, yeah, this person, I don't want this person near me. This person is bad news. But, right, my dad said all the time, or my mom actually said this, she said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, because that makes somebody dangerous. That makes somebody who is that 8%, who's just like the 2%, but they know enough not to say anything, right? They're biting their tongue. If they can't say something nice, they're not going to say anything at all. So they don't say anything. But these are people that are consistently popping into your life, that your friends or your friends of your friends, a co-worker, maybe even a brother or a sister, and they never say anything. But at some point, somebody is going to blow up and then switch from being that 8% of keeping their mouth shut to being one of those 2% that absolutely just go berserko on you. And then those are the ones that can mess you up, because what you've done is you've allowed that person to come into your vicinity, right? And when you allow people to come into your vicinity, into your life, that's trust, right? You're opening up a little bit to trust somebody, right? This person didn't say anything when you told them that the moon was purple with polka dots. They didn't say anything. They just smiled. Oh, isn't that nice? So, right, and you truly believe that the moon is purple with polka dots. Well, you believe other things, right? So the next time you come over, you talk about something else, whether it's like Sasquatches or leprechauns, or, right, you open up even more and you tell them more of these things, right? They're still in that 8% of that, right? And they're like, oh, right. How much more have I? But they're not saying anything. They're just smiling through it. And then the next time they come over and you're all excited, right? You got somebody to talk to about the things you believe in, the things that inspire you and make you happy. So you open up again. And the moment you open your mouth, that person just goes, raw, right? And what have they done? They crushed your soul, because you trusted somebody, right? You trusted somebody and you let them closer, because every time they interacted and didn't have a reaction to you, you let them closer, you trust them a little bit more. And once they got close, then that's when they took your head off. And by that time, maybe you loved this person desperately, or maybe you thought that you were going to be friends forever, right? Or maybe you were going to do something really, really kind for them, or you did do something really kind for them that might have put you behind in your bills or put you behind in the time that you were putting towards something else, right? I don't know how I went off on this one. But, I think about these things all the time. These little thoughts come into my head, and I'm just going to open up the window, and then I chomp on them, right? I chomp on them. And then, because what this happens, because every time somebody betrays your trust, you put up that wall again. And not only do you put that wall up again, you build that wall even stronger, even bigger. And then what happens is somebody else comes into your life, and you don't tell them these stories. You don't tell them about Sasquatches and leprechauns and the moon is purple with polka dots, because you don't think they're going to believe you. And this last person that you thought believed you and thought you were getting closer to, right? If they could do that to you, well, then maybe somebody else will do that to you. And then what happens? We don't end up trusting anybody, and we end up by ourselves, right? Without any friends, without trusting people, without being able to open up, right? Let me go and read some comments now, because I see all you guys have been yapping. Let's go back to where I came in right there. Let me have a sip of my coffee too. Let me know what you guys do. Do you guys make yourself a cup of coffee or anything? Like before I start my lives on Sunday nights? Like, what's your routine on Sunday nights? When you come into my lives? Like, I know, like, you're always here as soon as I start them. Like, do you make yourself a cocktail? Do you make yourself a cup of coffee? Right? A can of pop or a glass of juice? Right? Do you make your dinner around this aspect, or do you have a bubble bath and get in your pajamas, depending on where you live, right? Because people from all over the world come and pop into my live. And again, if you've never come into my lives on YouTube, I do a live show on YouTube on Sunday nights for an hour and a half. I explore the inside and the outside. And as of late, we've been exploring the inside, right? And just being friends, right? Just having a community of our own during a time, right? We've been a great support to each other. And I have been so grateful to all of you, This has been a difficult time for a lot of people. And I don't know if William got in here, but William got his vaccine. Has anybody else out there gotten your vaccine, you guys? Let me know in the comments if you guys have had your vaccines yet, because yeah, he's the first one that I heard of my crew here. He emailed me yesterday to tell me about how he got his vaccine. So I'm really, really pleased. It's important for us, isn't it, that we all kind of move through this together and make sure that when this world comes back to some form of normalcy, I don't know if it'll ever will, because I think that we're sitting in a big change and evolution right now, right? And I think this age of technology was meant to be a big turning point in evolution. And I think where we're sitting right now is the perfect timing for something amazing to happen to the world. And I think the people that come onto my lives, right? We all deserve to keep moving forward, right? And to be able to move along in our own evolutions and to join the party, right? So many amazing people. I don't think, what's the last time I even heard a swear word like in the comments? Has anybody ever saw anybody swear in our comments? I don't think so. We have the most amazing crew here. Okay, so let me take a look at some of these these comments, people. Hi, Kim. Nice to see you again. Owen's here. Kathy, Andrew. Oh, Nancy's here. Awesome. KSO. How do you pronounce that? How do you pronounce that? KSO Kai 63. Is that 1963? Is that the year of your birth? That would make you 2 years younger than me, if that were the case. Hi, Nancy. Awesome. How's your business going, Nancy? Or have you been getting sales on your scale coal beds? That's a great attitude, Kim. And that's, the funny thing is when you say that, Kim, I think that's actually pretty amazing because you are a nice person. You're a very sweet lady. You and your husband both amazing, amazing couple. So you not caring what other people think, I don't think would cause any harm to anybody because you're just very sweet. Anyway, Kim lives here in Winnipeg, or she did, right? And I actually met Kim. So, and from the people who are actually here, Sharon's not here. I met Sharon also, and but I've had letters from Kathy and from Andrew. I get emails from Owen, and right. Just reading some of these comments here. 100%, right? I'm talking to Andrew's comment there because she's when Kim was saying that that she didn't care what people think of her anymore, right? And then Andrew was saying, I saw a great saying about we wouldn't be so concerned about what people think of us if we knew how little they are thinking about us at all. And that's 100% true, right? Everybody's always thinking about themselves. They never really truly worry about other people, right? Yeah. And that's not how you survive either, right? Like, the only reason that mankind survived the last ice age was because we actually became a community. We learned to be social. We learned to depend on each other in our survival, right? We learned to be social creatures. Yeah, I didn't know that at one point. Well, I did know, but I didn't actually delve into the topic that at one point there were over 15 different humanoid humans out there, right? And that only modern man is the last one, and that all the other ones were extinct. That in actuality, modern man as it is right now actually has Neanderthal DNA. I did know that too, but not very long ago did I find that out, right? But 15 different humanoids, like some of us have got DNA, right? Of maybe a different type of human, right? 15 different types. And it kind of makes you wonder too, right? Because maybe it makes you wonder, the light skin, the dark skin, the blue eyes, the dark eyes, right? Different aspects of the way people look that, right? And they don't find some of these traits in some of the people in Africa. So it was through the migration that they met up with these different people, right? And their interactions that produced new babies. I was actually watching a program on TV. Oh, was it TV? Or was it YouTube? It was a documentary, and it was about how they set free these two groups of monkeys. They were two different species of monkeys, and they set them out all together, and a few of them crossbred and had babies, so they were able to replicate, right, and have hybrid babies. And these babies ended up being hybrid, and they created a new species. And I only say it was a new species because that one monkey from his tribe wouldn't accept the babies, right? Wouldn't accept the hybrid babies at all. And neither did the parent side on the female or the male side. Neither of their groups accepted the hybrid babies, which made them so that their own community. So they actually made a new species. It's really neat how Mother Nature will always take care of the earth. Like, mankind can just blow it right up, and Mother Nature, it might take a couple of thousand years, right? But Mother Nature eventually will have it all back to the way it was, or the way it was supposed to be. And if we're smart, there will be a few small communities that learn to work together and be kind to one another, right? And be able to survive the next ice age, right? Survive the next ice age so that we can continue on in our evolutions, right? Right? We're supposed to be moving towards being more godly, to being more, right? An earth where God would actually want to come down and exist with us, right? But yeah, as the world is right now, it's a pretty scary place if you ask me. But I'm trying to be more positive about it because I see a future. I see a future of difficulties. I see the advertising. Anybody here in Canada, the car dealerships are going crazy. Like, people have totally destroyed the credit cards. Like, they've been living on it for the past year or so. Like, people have totally destroyed their credits, and these car dealerships are going, come and buy a car. Any credit is welcome, right? Any credit is good credit. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, people are going to get themselves tied up in new vehicles and stuff. And what if things get worse before they get better and they're stuck with new vehicles, right? Oh, so thirsty. So I've been so thirsty. Like, I get up in the middle of the night and I just constantly drinking this and drinking this and drinking this, right? I just fluids all the time. Like my earrings, everybody, my little owls, aren't they cute? I've been collecting earrings at work, really nice earrings, and I got a cork board over on my bedroom wall there, and I've been hanging up all my earrings, and it's getting pretty full now. It's getting pretty full. But yeah, me and my sister, we have been doing pretty good on our sales. We're almost at $600 or $700 right now, I think, in the money that we're raking in for some of these things that I've been picking up at work. So we've been doing really good. All that money's going towards my car, and I'm just going to try and see if I can put $100. I'm not sure. I could put $100 a month away for sure. One check, and then my free check, I can put probably $300 away, live $100 for 2 weeks, and then $200 for a house bill, right? So that's the plan. We're going to see how it goes. It would be really, really great if I could put $400 away this month, $400 away next month, and $500 from a whole paycheck. Well, almost a whole paycheck, right? So that would bring me up to about $3,000. And I know if I make that effort to save and to put money away towards my car, that the universe will help me too. Just like magic, right? It'll manifest for me. Maybe not with the Jeep Rubicon 2021. That's okay. But some kind of vehicle, right? Just to show the progress. And once I have a vehicle, right? Maybe I'll become a professional reseller. One of my resellers at my work, he was telling me that he actually quit his job for sure. He's going to be a full-time reseller. He's going to be doing Goodwill stores, and he's going to be doing garage sales this summer. So I'm wishing him well. I'm wishing him well, and I would like to see people be able to work a little bit, being entrepreneurs, right? I congratulate. I said, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur," and he put on a big smile on his face and everything, and yeah, I was very very proud of himself, and he's gotten a couple of good scores already to help him along as he's starting out. It's hard, especially when you got a family, right? Because it's not a steady paycheck. It's not a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks, right? So you get out of it the amount of work and the amount of optimism that you're going to find some good things to sell that's going to make you some money. And then I've noticed also some of the resellers are also giving me little tips and things to help me as I'm doing a little bit too to help move myself forward, that they're giving me little tips. So everybody's being really nice to me. Tonight, actually, I was going to do my live here on my Mother Nature wall. I decided not to do it this week. Starting next Sunday, we're going to have a different studio, people. Next Sunday, we're going to be starting to do our live shows on another wall, my Mother Nature wall, all my beautiful Indigenous art and my tarot table and all my acorns and my little pebbles and stuff will be in the background instead of this. And then this one, well, this one maybe might be just on. Oh, did you guys see? There's my meatball. There's my fatso. There's my fatso. Hey, are you a cutie? Isn't she a cutie, my cat? Look at how big she is. She's just like a big circle. But she's the sweetest cat. And I've had quite a lot of cats in my lifetime, but she is absolutely just the sweetest one. Okay, let's get back to reading some of these comments and see what's going on with everybody. Oh, Andrew, that's sorry to hear that, Andrew. What's going on with Nancy here? Oh, sorry to hear that, Nancy, that you had an unpleasant experience on a live. But remember what I said about those 2% of people, and it sounds like maybe he might have had one of those moments, right? That you let them close, right? You let them within your vicinity, like I was saying, and they bit you, right? That's that 2%. And that's that 8%, right? That turned into a 2%. Yeah. I get customers like that every once in a while. And, it's really great when I can go through a whole shift and get compliment after compliment. Oh, that customer service. I love your bubbly personality. You make everybody feel so. I get these all day long, right? I'm very gracious. I just say thank you very much. Very kind to you. But I do get those women, right? And you try and stick them with the rules. Can you put on your face mask, cover your nose? And they just turn into exorcist ladies and their head spins around and your customer service is absolutely worse. And I'm just like, like I could be a stickler for the rules. This is my boss, right? And I have to be loyal to my boss. And if she says this is the way she wants it, I got to do my very best to do that. I don't like wearing my apron. We have a work apron. I don't like to wear it, right? She calls me on it all the time. but I've been wearing it, even though I don't like to put things around my neck because it gives me a sore neck. I've been kind of pinning it to my shirts, my beautiful designer shirts and stuff. Just trying to be respectful because even though it makes me feel miserable, I don't want to wear the apron. I do it because it's my loyalty to my boss. My boss wants me to wear the apron. Well, I'm going to wear the apron. I'm going to try to remember to make sure to wear the apron, whether I like it or not, right? Because this is her business, not my business, right? And I want to represent the business the way she wants me to represent it. I'm sorry to hear that, Nancy. That wasn't good, right? Because I love your story. And you shouldn't let it stop you from going live, Nancy, because you have an amazing story that needs to be told, right? On your lives to be able to, tell these stories of your lives. And I think you were meant to do that. And I'm sorry to hear that you had a really crappy live, right? Because I loved you when you went on my live show on Instagram. You did it numerous times. I just absolutely loved when you came on live. And it was a wonderful time, Nancy. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm that person too, right? Standing up for your friends, like me in high school and when they lit my friend's hair. She wasn't even my friend. I didn't even know her, but we became friends afterwards. But they lit her hair on fire like it was a bonfire. And they all stood in a big circle. It was at least 20 or 30 people. The whole class just stood in a circle and just watched her whole head. Because in those days, in the 80s, we all used hairspray and her whole head just went poof, right? And I just plowed right through that circle. And they hated me more than they hated anybody in that class. But I just went through that circle and I just took my hands and I just whacked her head, whacked out the flames and everything. And yeah, burnt off all her hair. She ended up having to get a short haircut and everything. And after that, me and her became friends, right? But sometimes we react, right? And we react, and isn't it amazing that we react positively? We do the right thing when that stressful moment comes and that adrenaline happens. Isn't it amazing that we can just go ahead and just trust the rush that's coming towards us and just jump in and protect our friends? And yeah, that's amazing that you actually supported and took care of your friend. I'm sorry for the backlash that you got. I hope it doesn't stop you, because what you're doing is you're making that person who did that to you, whose soul was not rubbing with you in the right way, right? What you're doing is you're handing over your power to him. He has your power because what he's done is he's made it so you never go live again with him. Like, yeah, the people do, right? People do the funniest things. Really, they do. Oh, Nancy. Nancy, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear. Nobody should ever feel humiliation. Humiliation is absolutely the worst, right? Guilt, shame, humiliation. Oh my goodness, right? These are weapons that people use, right? And it was a reflection on what was going on in his own head, his own problems. And I'm sorry to hear that. You were viciously attacked on YouTube, Owen? What did they do to you? And Andrew said he got his vaccination? Oh, okay. Wow. And of course, after the experience you had, Nancy, I'm sure it took you a few days to bring your nervous system to stabilize your nervous system again, right? After you got it all worked up like that. It's so unfair when people turn the tables and make you feel bad, right? To purposely set out to hurt you or put you in a negative state of mind. I was actually watching a neuroscientist, it was a program, School of Greatness. Was she? She was a neuroscientist, and he was interviewing her, and she was talking about all the research that they were doing and how stress and all those symptoms that come along with stress, angina and diabetes and high blood pressure, depression, anxiety, all these emotional issues that arise, and the physical issues, right, that arise from the stress. That is like that's like your body's attacking the negative thought, like it's a virus, like it's a cold virus, like it's sending all the good bacteria and everything to go battle something that's invaded your body, right? And that's how they treat the stress. And that's when people, when they're under chronic stress all the time, it's just that they train their body to just be in negative, 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 so that what happens is that your body actually turns on your own body after a while, right? Because it considers it something that's invading, something negative, right? That's invading your body, like a virus, like a cold. And people actually are dying from this. She actually was doing experiments with actual clinical cases of people who were on medication, who were suffering with depression and anxiety, people who were sent to live in homes on a permanent basis because there are mental issues and stuff. And she said after doing habits, and it only took 66 days, just by trying to have a positive attitude, right? Instead of talking negative, right? Oh, I'm so stupid, or right, I'm not stupid, I'm smart. I'm putting that out there, right? By doing those positive, and that's why it's important to do positive affirmations, right? And that's why is because we're trying to calm down our nervous systems. And this is coming from neuroscientists, right? People who actually have been winning Nobel Peace Prizes and stuff in their researches. So this is real stuff, but for whatever reason, it doesn't somehow always get to the public. I stumbled onto that in an interview yesterday or the day before, and with a really well-respected thought leader. I watch his content all the time because he does interview some great thought leaders out there. And yeah, I thought it would be interesting. And it was directly related to emotional well-being, right? To the emotional well-being, and how we make ourselves physically ill, and how our ailments actually come from our negative thoughts. Yeah, it was really, really an interesting program. Oh, well, that's good to hear, Nancy, that your cold beds are still in the works. But like I said, right, like it's understandable after that person actually messed with your system there. And it probably took a few days for you to calm your system down after, that an emotional attack like that, and to be humiliated. Like who likes to be humiliated? Nobody, right? And who deserves that? Like nobody deserves that. Like, even if somebody truly believes that they deserve to be humiliated, right? You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that, right? Ah, Kansas. Okie. Oh, Okie. Okay, gotcha. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. What do you mean? It's snowing in Seattle, Nancy? That's crazy. In Seattle, spring is in full bloom here. Today it was +8 Celsius. That is spring for us. That is spring for us. And yeah, the snow is almost gone. It's still a little bit cold, but the snow is almost gone. I'm getting a bike this week sometime. I'm also getting my phone this week because we are going to be bringing What's My Good Cheer, which is my live show on Instagram. We are going to be bringing that to YouTube too. You won't be doing it, won't be a live, but I will put my two best lives. I will upload to YouTube every week, and also we'll see. We're going also, of course, my Sunday lives will always stay in effect unless I'm on the road exploring. If I'm on the road exploring, there won't be a live show, but I'll let you know like the week before that there won't be a show next Sunday because I'll be off exploring, because those are my days off, right? I get Sundays and Mondays, and then if there's a stat day, I'll get a Wednesday off, right? So I am going to request 3 days off, and I keep saying that, and I haven't done it yet, but I want to request 3 days off for June, for May 30th, June 1st, and June 2nd. I want to go camping for a few days. And I will be and also I want to make that commitment to that camping trip because it's that incentive, because I can't go camping without the vehicle. So what it does is it compounds my goal of actually working towards that vehicle. You guys, I'm doing so good for myself. I'm getting my glasses this week. They were $700. $700 for those glasses. I accomplished the glasses. Last week, I got my driver's license, right? And this week, I'm getting my new phone, and that's what's going to make it possible for me to do my videos for my live shows for YouTube. And yeah, it's a great program, a great live show that I do on Instagram. And I really think it would do really, really well. And I think it will help lots of people, going forward if I were to stick them up on my YouTube channel, right? Because they're up there forever. And I trust YouTube and Google if the content is good, if I get it right, because again, it's a learning process, right? We don't always get things perfect. And I make just as many mistakes as anybody else. And sometimes we learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes, right? So I was actually really thinking about what I wanted to do. And yeah, it makes sense to me that my television, my IGTV series called What's My Good Cheer, it should come to YouTube for sure. It should come to YouTube. So I'll be starting to film that in my new studio, and that will start next Sunday for sure. You'll see my new studio. So I guess it'll be the week after that my program will come on to YouTube also. So keep that in mind. And then hopefully again, right, middle of May, I will be back on the road. Maybe using this interactional app that is Manitoba Historical Society has put together with all the locations for the one-room schoolhouses and all the great abandons and stuff going on out there, that I could actually get back on the road and do some exploration and actually promote this beautiful province that I live in that has been doing so well. I mean, I'm not rubbing it in any provinces or any states' face. I truly am not, right? But I am very proud to call myself a Manitoban, call myself a human in this time that we've been living in, right? And I know I haven't been super active when it comes to the virus, like super talkative about the virus or the protests or the cruel things that people are doing out there to each other, right? It's not that I'm not aware of it. I just don't think it's beneficial in any way for any of us to put ourselves in those, right? We're trying to calm the system down. We're not trying to agitate the system even more. So I've been purposely trying to ignore all that negative that is going out in the world, even if it's not negative, right? But these are needless things that we don't need to have in our life, especially when we're trying to do a little bit better by ourselves, right? Let's take a look at more of these. Great conversation, you guys. You guys have really got great conversations going on. The blue eyes actually were from went way back. It was another race in, I think, Eastern Europe, where there's a mountain group that all have blue eyes, but not what I was gonna say. It's I was going to say something, but it's been much longer than 300 years, Andrew, because the Egyptian pharaohs all had blue eyes, right? All the Egyptian pharaohs and a lot of the royal families. Oh, the RH blood, the Baskins, is that what they called? The Baskins. Um, uh, they all had blue eyes too. They appear the blue eyes are actually supposedly coming from the lost tribes of Noah. Now, I'm not familiar with the Bible, Andrew. You would know more of the story than I would, but the blue eyes supposedly are from the lost tribes of Noah. And I'm going to assume that, yeah, that's a few thousand years for sure, right? And also, I purposely, with me, I think it also ties up in evolution, right? But yeah, all the royal families and stuff, and it's mixed, right? It's mixed. Like in my family, I have two sisters with blue eyes. My dad had blue eyes, so me and my sister Carolyn have blue eyes, like my dad. My sister Alice has hazel eyes. And then my sister Tracy has dark eyes, like my mom did, right? She's very much like got my mom's genes through and through. And yeah, but in my family, blue eyes are very, very prevalent. And then again, all my nieces and nephews all have blue eyes too. So I don't have any dark eyed nephews or nieces. They all have gray blue eyes also. Yeah. But yeah, if you know that story, Andrew, I'd be interested in any content that you know on that topic, because I find it very interesting, because I do have the blue eyes, right? But I have this feeling that it comes from my ancestors go all the way back to Hittites. Where's my book here? And I'll tell you exactly. Get my Middle East book where my family first originated from, and it starts with a K. But I can't really remember. I can't really remember what it was called. And I'm getting this information from this book here, The Middle East, and it actually talks about the lost tribes of Noah here in this book here. But this goes back right to the very beginning of the Middle East. So much beautiful artwork in here too, right? And a lot of this got destroyed. A lot of this artwork got destroyed, right? Because of what was going on with what was Saddam Hussein. Man, that's going back, right? Remember when that was like the most important thing in the whole world that was going on, and we bit onto that and we didn't let go of that. And now that just seems so unimportant and actually quite futile, right? Doesn't it? That we actually put that effort in. Well, mind you, they did some pretty terrible things. Like really, right? When they put those planes through the Twin Towers, that was for the whole world. That was probably one of the most traumatic things that in my lifetime that I could remember happening, right? I know the Vietnam War was just ending when I was actually even starting to get familiar with the idea, because that was in the early 60s. It was in the early 70s, right? And I was pretty young, and those were subjects that I wasn't really privy to in conversation, right? But and so I think besides the Twin Towers, I most definitely the coronavirus has overtaken. I mean, millions of people have died from the coronavirus, haven't they? Haven't they? I just want to keep up on these comments a little bit. Yeah, my sister does the same thing, Andrew. She keeps her drive. My sister doesn't drive a car. My sister Carolyn, she doesn't drive a car, but she Cynthians. I think that's where it originated with. No, it was before the Cynthians. It was before the Cynthians, but we transitioned into being Cynthians. And if I could remember, not Uruk, Lagash. Yeah, and it talks about all the different tribes, all the different tribes of Noah and where they moved to and the kind of lives that they set up. But supposedly that's where the blue eyes came from, were those tribes of Noah. And that's why there was so much inbreeding and everything, because they wanted to keep those blue eyes, because those blue eyes were signals of royalty, of the hierarchy. Is that what you call it? The hierarchy of things, right? I'm just seeing if I know I could just go to the index, Cindy, and just do it by index here. Let's quickly find this, because I knew it started with a K. H-I-J. H-I. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, I'm not going to. There it is. Cassites. 123. How close was I? Oh, I had passed it already. Yeah, the Catites. And that was where I think that we were from, right? My family is coming from that band. And it was one of the tribes of Noah. It was one of the tribes of Noah. So yeah, but at least I know where it is, right? Where I was thinking. But yeah, I read about it too all the times. And it was one of the very first big cities, but they were known for what was I going to say? They were known for being a very peaceful civilization. They were known to be a very peaceful civilization. They were never known for anything spectacular, except for the fact that they were very peaceful. But for 300 years, they never had problems with anybody. Nobody tried to destroy their cities or their way of living or way of thinking, but actually other people, the travelers, right? Because there was a lot of trade and stuff going on, that they wanted to stop there and be a part of that community too, right? But again, if you go back to that monkey idea where and this could be with like civilization too, right? Where we actually, we bred with the blue-eyed lost tribes of Noah. We would have interacted with other people of different cultures and stuff, and our bloods would eventually have mixed, right? And we would have lost that Well, because people were inbreeding. Again, it was a way of keeping land and money in the family, right? And I know those blue eyes were a big part of that. Oh, Heather's here too. Right? Okay, I'm all caught up on the comments. Wow, you guys are talking on some heavy stuff. I'm sorry to hear that you guys are all having those kind of times right now. And Nancy, do your darndest not to let them bring you down, right? Because you are so good on those lives. And like I said, you have an important story to tell. And that could just be the darkness's way of shutting you down, right? So maybe you actually have to push on that wall a little bit and not let them take you down. Ignore their comments, right? Yeah, being positive is huge in my life, and I've come to realize that, and my life has improved greatly. Even if I'm not feeling good, right? I try to turn things around in the moment just to even make it feel a little bit better, just to get myself to the point where I'm not thinking miserable, right? I was never that person. I was always the optimist in my family. Always, right? I'd be getting it right and left, but I was always optimistic. I was always happy to be alive. I love life, right? As bad as life can be, and life can be bad, right? I understand you guys, right? Because I've had conversations with people, right? And even though they're not you, but they might have been sitting in the same situation as you, or I might have had those experiences myself, right? And I know how you feel. Like I can imagine some of those experiences. I put myself in Nancy's shoes all the time, right? Because I worry for her. Like, how does she manage? Like, how does she go from one day to the next, right? With all these things, terrible things happening to her life. She just what do you call them? Stumblebees, right? But instead of just stumbling over herself, it's like things come like tumbleweeds just rolling in front of her and messing with her chair, right? Like just problems that just come across your path. Maybe, right? If we could all just try to be, I know, right? And this is a lesson that we should be taking after Nancy, because Nancy takes these beatings all the time and she just pops up like a jack in a box, and she gets herself through these terrible moments in her life. And me too, I try to do that too. And as of late, I'm getting a lot better at getting through my problems and resolving my problems, or eliminating the problem even popping up into my life to start with, and to actually maybe even introduce a little bit more positive, right? But it's my attitude, right? I could have done a lot better job than I had, but I could have done a lot worse job. I'm very grateful for the content that I come across every day when I search out good lessons and stuff, right? I'm very grateful to be able to bump into people and bump into, making friends with followers and stuff, and being able to pay attention to what's going on in the comments, right? Pay attention to what's going on in the comments so that I could actually even step into your shoes even further, right? And this is how we find our resolutions to our problems all the time. Because I was just saying to Nancy, who was it last week, that unless you say anything, we don't know that there's even a problem, right? It's like that person who that 8% of the people of, right? Because 10% of the world, no matter what, doesn't matter how nice you are, how many great things you do for somebody, right? How you stay out of somebody's way. 10% of people absolutely hate, despise, and are envious of you, right? And 8% of those will keep their mouth shut and not say anything because they were taught if you can't have something nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But then you have 2% of the people who are just idiots, right? Nice idiots, right? Keep it positive. Keep it positive. Because remember, even though somebody's an idiot to us, even though somebody's soul rubs us wrong, right? It doesn't mean that they aren't an amazing piece in somebody else's life, right? And this is 100% true. This is 100% true, right? Because even though my sister Tracy's soul doesn't rub me well, she takes good care of our family, right? My nieces, my nephews, my 4 sisters, right? Tracy loves control and she likes to be that person. And if that makes her feel comfortable, if that calms her system down, then no skin off of my back. Have at her. Take care of the family. That'll just free me up to do more of what I want to do, right? And free me up to do more for other people out there because I don't have to worry about this part because you're taking care of that, right? Heavy tonight, right? But this is sometimes the content that I get into when I get my lessons and stuff, right? So when I pick up these lessons during the course of the day, sometimes I bump into some really, really good content and it inspires me. It inspires me so that when I come into my lives, then I'm so full of the lesson that this is how I get it out, right? But at the same time, I believe, right, that things come across my path for a reason. And if I'm inspired to spew a lesson I've had during the course of the day, right, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to feel bad about that. And sure enough, somebody out there for sure hates me and dislikes me, right? And may come in and tell me I'm an idiot or say something mean to me, right? And I know how hard it is because I was actually even saying yesterday that, we always get like with me on my YouTube channel, people pop in and give me a nice comment and I appreciate it all. I appreciate all those amazing comments, right? But then, I get a whole bunch of great comments. I feel wonderful. And then somebody will come in and say something really poopy about me or about my show or about somebody who made a comment, right? And what I'll do with that, I'll chomp on that one, right? I'm not chomping on the ones that, right, the compliments that I get during the course of my lives, right? All those wonderful things people say, but I'll always remember that one thing that somebody said that was unkind, right? That made me feel, right? So sometimes I guess I would say that if somebody says something mean to you, that maybe what we need to do is we need to remember a good moment. We need to find a happy moment where there was somebody actually supporting us in our lives and what we were thinking and what we were doing. And maybe think about that one and try not to think of that poopy thing that somebody set out because they purposely set out to hurt you. That was with intent. And that's a good word to keep in mind, right? And because if you're hanging out with me, you have good intuition. You have guaranteed. You have great intuition. You are a great empath. You have a big caring heart. You're most likely a caregiver in some aspect of your life, right? Because you can't help it. This is part of your nature, right? But if you find people are rubbing you the wrong way, it's time to move those people out of your life, right? You don't need that. You've got work ahead of you, right? You might not think it, right? You might think that you have nothing in your life. You have nothing to offer, right? Right? But I think, like, what would my live show be like on Sunday nights if we didn't have Andrew and we didn't have Owen and we didn't have Nancy or Kathy or, right, or Melvin? And where's Melvin tonight? Melvin didn't make it into the live tonight, you guys. He's going to get heck next week. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing going on politically tonight. But then again, it could be hockey season, right? And sometimes our own thoughts when we don't see people and then we think, oh, they don't like me anymore, or they're never going to come back, or, right? It was like when Sharon left to go back home and I went to Toronto. When I came back, I went right into my own problems. I didn't hear from Sharon for a couple of months. I didn't hear from Sharon. And I went, oh, she didn't have a good time. Oh, I wasn't a good host, right? Right. And then I start down talking myself and making myself paranoid and stuff when I should have said, oh, Sharon's busy, getting things sorted out, moving forward, making plans on going with a trip with her son, and right, realizing that the coronavirus is starting and stuff, that we were going to get locked down and we were just getting involved in our own lives. But again, we go directly to the most worst case scenario rather than going and just thinking common sense or the best case scenario, right? Oh, most definitely, Andrew. Most definitely. We learn from those people. If nothing else, we learn what people we should allow in our vicinity and which ones we don't. And we normally know this already because these things have been around us for decades, most likely. We are, right? We call them our spidey senses, right? And I know everybody in my comments here has spidey senses and pretty good spidey senses, expert spidey senses. And this is how we survive, right? But at the same time, I think a lot of us survive by isolating ourselves, don't we? Right? Sometimes it's better just to be alone than having to deal with those poopy people, right? That just kind of sort of appear. But it does us good. There are lessons in that because, like I said, people come into our lives for a reason, don't they? They always do. Oh, look, an Angry Birds fan came in. Are you a veteran, dear? These sound like call words, like military call words that you're putting out there in what you're saying. I don't understand that, but welcome. Yeah, explain it to us so we can get involved in that. I don't know about anybody else out there is not understanding of what oh look an Angry Birds, but he's trying to get through to us, right? It looks super interesting. They look like numbers like on fighter jets and stuff, right? T-128s and stuff. Pi Day. We have a Pi Day too here in Manitoba. I don't know if it's referring to the same thing. Isn't Nancy a strong woman, Owen? Like crazy strong, right? I hope Nancy's on my team or I'm on Nancy's team next time around. No doubt, right? I am a big Nancy fan for sure. Yeah, me and Nancy could do some big damage when it comes to, right, saving souls. I'm not even sure if Nancy is religious in any way. I'm trying to think of our conversations. If Nancy is religious, I'm not sure. Maybe she could let us know, right? But I never asked. But then again, those questions are questions I guess we don't ask out of politeness. But I think in the day and age that we live in right now, it should be okay to ask what nationalities and denominations and things that people are, because we're supposed to be a non-racial, right? Kind of country. We're supposed to be more accepting of people, more tolerant of people. So if that's the case, then these things wouldn't be so important anymore, right? So it should be okay. I don't mind talking about my culture in any way, but then again, right? Yeah, lost me there. Oh, okay. So it is Army staff. Wow, he can yap, can he? Holy moly, look at the time, people. I'm yapping away here. It just seems like I just came on live like half an hour ago, and we've already killed an hour and a half tonight. Holy cow, we're yapping up a storm for sure. And I can't remember even what the topic is. But yeah, I'm saying next week we're going to have a new studio starting next week. I'm getting a new phone this week. We're also going to be bringing on a new show to YouTube. And yeah, I think, well, like I said, two of my best lives that I do for What's My Good Cheer will be posted to my YouTube channel. Maybe we'll do them as premieres so that we can have these conversations, right? If I do them as premieres, that's what we'll do. We'll do a premiere. My first one will be a premiere, people. So keep your eye open. It'll be next week sometime. We'll do a premiere of What's My Good Cheer for YouTube. I'll put a community notice up on my YouTube, so you'll probably get a notification in the mail. Yeah, we'll figure out something special. I got an extension for my webcam here, because I don't want to do my YouTube live shows on my phone. I want to tape them and put them up, and I also want to be able to cut them and stuff so that I can make small posts and things like that for my other platforms out of them. And yeah, picking up a few things to make things a little bit more. I'm trying to move forward the best I can. I don't have a lot of resources, but I'm an adapt and conquer kind of girl. And I'm going to make this happen because I've got a lot of people watching me make my movement. And I want to make some good movement because, I know if I make some good moves, that there are people in my crew right here, right now, who will make moves on their own. And if I could just get one person, right? Like our Nancy, the entrepreneur, right? If I could just get one person in movement forward also, it's well worth it. We're going to have some fun, people. We're going to have some fun. Okay, everybody, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for coming in live with me tonight. Don't forget to give me those thumbs up because YouTube will push my videos out to more people if those thumbs up are there, right? Because that's how YouTube works. And yeah, we'll see you next Sunday night, right? Have a great week, everybody. If anybody wants to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through my other platforms on Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter. Just DM me, just message me. Lots of you have my emails there. Shoot me an email. Happy to talk about anything. If anything's bothering you and if you think I could just even be an ear for you, I would be happy to do that, right? And yeah, I'll reply fast, you guys. So if you want to continue this conversation, right, get a hold of me. Okay, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.